So we want a horse to equally anticipate going forward and speeding up as slowing down and backing up. And we want him to equally anticipate going right as going left. When he anticipates two opposite things equally, then he's not anticipating at all. Then he's listening. So we've got this colt loping on a circle, and we're going to give him the choice of loping or trotting. Well, he also has a choice of running, bucking. He basically has a choice of anything he wants to do except for walk or stop. So we're telling him where to do it. We're not telling him what to do. The theory being that when he gets relaxed, he's going to choose to trot. And if it takes a little while, we'll give him a little while. I like the way Luis is galloping this horse on this circle. Got a nice big circle. He's going within 1 yard of each of the three fences. He's telling that horse where to do it, but he's not telling him what to do. You can see down here on this side of the circle, the horse is leaning towards the gate. I don't care where a horse's head goes. I don't care where a horse's tail goes. I only care where the saddle horn goes. And you can see Luis is pulling this horse's head far enough to the right so that the saddle horn stays on the circle. Eventually, the horse will figure out that he gets rewarded for turning rather than for bending, and then he'll turn rather than bend. Now, that was good. That horse found the trot by himself on slack, and you can see Luis is riding with a very forward posture. He's basically daring this horse to make the mistake of breaking into a lope.
If he puts his chin over the fence, ask him for vertical flexion at the standstill. Good, and then when you're ready, walk him around the arena, trot him around the arena, try to trick him into loping. If he lopes, put him on a big circle.
So this horse stood nicely, and you could tell he was willing to stand for a while, so Luis asked him to walk off. And you could tell that horse was not going to volunteer to trot, so Luis asked him to trot, and then he gave him the opportunity of choosing between trotting or loping. And he put his hands forward, and basically with his hands, his shoulders, his body position, he said to that horse that Luis likes loping more than the horse does. And the horse chose to lope. And now he's starting to relax. He found that trot again. So we're teaching this horse to go as fast as we tell him to, not as slow as we tell him to.
Let him quit when he wants. If he puts his chin over the fence, ask him for vertical flexion. Nice. When you're ready, same thing. Walk, trot, try to trick him into loping. If he lopes, put him on a big circle.
When it gets too easy for him to stay in the trot and deny the opportunity to lope on a circle, then we're going to make it more difficult for him by taking him around the arena. So more or less, we never slow a horse down. We allow the size of the figure to slow a horse down. We allow the fence to slow a horse down. We'll often use an obstacle like a bush. We'll often point him uphill. But I want this horse to learn that I'm in charge of telling him when to go. He's in charge of coming back.
Good. Keep him on that circle. Give him the choice of loping or trotting. Nice. And then when he's pointed at this fence, make him be straight. Let him quit when he wants. Good. Keep doing that. That's looking great.
So this is more or less like playing Simon Says. So Luis is trying to trick this horse into making the mistake of volunteering to lope. And then the horse will eventually get to where when Luis asks him, do you want to lope? The horse will say, oh, Simon didn't say. And that's what we want the horse to learn. We want him to learn to listen to the leg for propulsion, not to the rider's weight.
Good. Just keep taking him around the arena until he lopes. Or if he never does lope, that's even better. right, now a medium small circle close to the fence. And then next time around, right about there, make him be straight. Let him quit if he wants. If he puts his chin over the fence, ask him for vertical flexion. And when you like the way he's standing still on slack, walk him the direction he's not expecting to walk. And then when you like his trot, like his walk, ask him to trot, same circle. About twice, same thing.
A lot of stuff we do with a horse, we do more than one circle, less than 2 circles. And then at the point where he does something, that's when we will do something different. So in this case, we're doing more than 1 circle, less than 2 circles, and then we're letting him up to the fence, letting him figure out how to get himself stopped. So that'll help him learn to trot a couple of small circles, stay relaxed, because he knows that he's fixing to stop. That way he'll learn to anticipate the stop rather than anticipate the running off. So he'll learn to keep his legs under him and be ready for that stop.
Fence at 45 degrees this time instead of straight up at it.
When that gets too easy for him, rather than letting him square up to the fence, we'll let him up to the fence at 45 degrees. And this is going to give him the opportunity to start learning how to rock back over his hocks and roll back.
Let him up to that fence at 45 degrees. Oh, he's starting to think a little bit. Keep doing that.
In this right turn, this horse is wanting to bend a lot rather than turn. You can see how he left his front feet stuck as if they were stuck in the mud, and he moved his head to the right. We eventually want to get this horse trained so that when the rider's right hand moves, the horse's right front foot moves. So we want him to learn to turn rather than bend. Bending is an evasion that a horse does to get out of turning.
Nice. I don't back him up, just walk him off. There, he moved his head and his back feet. It'd be better if he'd move his front feet. Sometimes he will, sometimes he won't, but just trying to be gentle with your hand, and then you want to use that outside leg. Be patient with him. Try to get him in the habit of moving his front feet.
The reason I asked Luis there to not back the horse up before turning is because I want that horse to learn that he's responsible for rocking his own self back onto his hocks and moving his front feet. And this fence will help that horse figure that out.
Oh, he's starting to think. Attaboy, that just like that.
I'm Josh Armstrong. If there's something I can help you with, let me know.